with Abe Legal. I am here with your update on what's going on here in Washington, D.C., relating to the unemployment checks, the stimulus money, and what you can do about what is going on here. And let me, first of all, before we go on, tell you about Abe. Abe is a platform that was created to help people book virtual appointments with lawyers from the comfort of their home or their businesses, day or night. And so again, if you have a problem where you are facing either eviction or foreclosure and you need some legal help, or if you have a relative who has passed away and you need to try to get access to their funds to keep yourself afloat, to keep your family afloat, or if you're a small business and you're trying to keep your doors open, and or a nonprofit organization and you're looking for either grants or try to modify your loans or other accounts that you owe, or if you're looking for government contracts, then contact abe.legal. We can help you get on the phone with a lawyer day or night to actually get some help from the comfort of your home. And that's abe.legal. So today we're going to go into 3 questions to ask and answer. So the first question that is been asked is, why are Democrats in the House of Representatives coming back to D.C. here tomorrow, which actually is today, and what are they going to be doing? Second of all, is how many states have received those promised unemployment benefits from the president's executive order? And is your state amongst those that have either applied or not applied? And third of all, what can you do right now to change the craziness happening here in Washington, D.C.? So those are 3 questions. And again, if you want to make sure that you're getting updates on these answers or updates on anything that's happening relating to these stimulus checks or unemployment checks, then I encourage you to like this program, subscribe so you get any updates, and to leave any comments that you might have in the comments below. So first of all, what are Democrats doing here in Washington, D.C.? Many of them have flown or are flying in from places across the country, which is crazy during the middle of a pandemic. But why are they risking their lives to come all the way here? Well, sadly, they're only risking their lives to make sure that they can actually get reelected, unfortunately. They're not going to be voting, apparently. They have refused to vote on a bill to renew the unemployment benefits. Instead, they're only going to be voting on a bill to keep the operations of the Postal Service going as they were going throughout the end of the year in order to protect, they say, protect the mail-in ballot system. And this to me shows total disregard for the people who actually elected them, the people like you and I who are their bosses. They are putting their interests, again, the interests of them keeping their benefits, keeping their salaries above those people who are depending upon them to vote for those unemployment benefits. And why am I saying that the unemployment benefits are tied not just to the 34 million Americans plus who are receiving those benefits, but everybody? Well, the reason why is because the monies that are received by these Americans who are either, again, full-time workers who may have been laid off because of the COVID crisis, business owners like lawyers like myself, or doctors or dentists. And I've spoken to many dentists who have found their business has gone down tremendously because of the pandemic. Nobody wants to come out and actually, and nor can they afford even dental care. And so therefore, people who have been doing great before the pandemic, or maybe not as great, but definitely doing poorly now, are depending upon that money. And again, the House Democrats have chosen to come back to Washington, D.C. and to, again, exclude that important provision to keep the unemployment benefits. She said, this is Nancy Pelosi, she said to those 100 members of Congress wrote her and asked, hey, let's include this extension of the $600 a week unemployment benefits. To them, she said no. She said that, it was a positive initiative. However, the timing was wrong, and that instead they should be trying to negotiate for more of the bill called the Heroes Act, which we talked about in previous podcasts. And that to me is ridiculous. Again, she's putting her interests above the interests of the people who sent her and the rest of the members of Congress. And in fact, there is a challenger to her. And someone who is in San Francisco who's running against her. And perhaps people need to basically go and barrage his campaign with volunteer support or help, so you can send the message to Nancy Pelosi that her analysis is absolutely off the mark. So again, this is what's happening here in Washington. So now let me talk about how many states have actually either received the monies for their people. How many states have applied for the money? That is the money from the White House's executive order, monies that would not replace the entire $600 a week, but actually replace only $300 of that $600. Well, there are a number of them, and I'm going to actually list who those states are. So there's one state that has actually applied and actually received that money, and that's Arizona. So apparently they were the first one out the door to apply, and good for Arizona. So let me list the rest of the states. So these are the states who have applied, but yet have yet to actually get their money. California, Connecticut, Georgia, Indiana, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Rhode Island, Vermont, and West Virginia. One state, South Dakota, said they didn't need the money. For example, obviously their people must be so well off, which I don't believe that's the case, that their unemployed don't need the money, which again makes no sense. So if you're in South Dakota, I would definitely blow up your the Twitter account of your governor. The following states have either not applied or applied late. That's Delaware, District of Columbia, where we are here, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Kansas, Maine, Minnesota, Mississippi, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, North Dakota, Oregon, South Carolina, Wisconsin, Wyoming, and Wyoming. And the following states have applied, but their monies are pending. So they're in the pipeline. Good for them. And this is Colorado, Idaho, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan, Missouri, Montana, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Utah, Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, or actually, let me step back. Up through Utah, their payments are pending. Now we have a number of states who are in the pre-application, so they've started working on it, but they haven't completed their application. And this is Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Massachusetts, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, and Washington State. So what can you do? A couple things. First of all, I encourage every one of us to contact our member of Congress and tell them to vote no on the postal bill unless that postal bill that's being considered by the House of Representatives in just hours includes monies for the unemployment benefits. That is again, that should be our red line in the Senate. Everybody, whether you are receiving that money or you are not receiving that money, you are benefiting from the extra money. And so therefore, I encourage you to tell your members of Congress to vote no. Second of all, if you are in a state that has either not applied or was late in applying, then I would encourage you to contact your governor or your mayor, like here in the District of Columbia, and tell them to basically, get off their butts and get to work. If they've already applied, but they've applied late, then ask them to go and try to see what they can do to expedite their application to get those monies into the hands of the people who need them. Next, I'm also calling on all of us, something that we can all do, is to influence the man who has a disproportionate amount of influence over both the members of Congress, both in the House of Representatives and the Senate, as well as the White House, and that is none other than Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, the owner of Whole Foods, the owner of the Washington Post, and the owner of AWS, Amazon Wireless Services, I believe, but basically the warehousing services that basically own a great amount of the cloud where all of our data is stored. I encourage us all to boycott, again, Amazon, hold our monies, vote with our monies by keeping it in our pockets and not spending it until Amazon places a call to the White House and to Congress demanding that they do what is even in their best interest. Because again, it would be in the best interest of Amazon to make sure that that money is going in the hands of potential consumers. But we need to get the word out to them that we are not going to spend money until he uses his influence to cause a change here in Washington, D.C. So that is the Abe for President update. If you have any questions, put it in the comments section. Go and check out our blog at abe.legal. We have some updates and probably going to list this entire list of states to see, make sure your state is on there. Also, to get an update, make sure you subscribe and like this particular program. If you have any legal problems and you need to get an appointment with a lawyer, there's one available for you right now at abe.legal. And this has been Talib Kareem, CEO of Abe Legal. Look forward to coming back to you on Monday with an update of what's going on here in Washington.